Hey, welcome back to Sip Happens. I'm 50% of your hosts, Sean Banerjee, they, them.
I guess I'm the other 50 half, Rosie, she, her.
Thank you all for joining us one more time to drink some tea and to talk to some cool people. We have a guest today. One of the founders of StartPlaying.Games, Devon Chulick, will be with us in a little bit. With us, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You can stay for that. I talked to the board, and they said, yeah, I guess Rosie can stay.
Okay, well, I'll stay then.
All right, cool. But before that, Rosie, what are we drinking?
Oh, we have tea. That's what we do. Got another dryad tea, y'all. Remember we said we had 75 episodes worth? We're not joking. This one is called Grim Dark, another one that has no explanation except for this cool little poem here. A blend for things that go bump in the night, a deep mix of black tea, cloves, and roasted mate. A blend that promises you to be careful for what you wish for. Dun dun dun. Sean, tell us what the actual ingredients are.
We got black tea, oolong, clove, rosebuds, and roasted mate.
I like mate.
Yeah, let's get mate. Sounds fancier.
Yeah, cool. Let's
we pre-opened.
I pre-opened it, but that does not mean I'm going to be able to actually. Here we go. I got it.
I'm gonna try not to snort it up my nose again.
Wow. Does it say cardamom anywhere? Is that or clove? That's clove. Yeah,
clove, yeah.
Dang.
Clove, but the rosebud in there.
Yeah.
I have a new teacup.
Oh, let's see.
So.
Ooh, I'm like leaning into the screen because I can't see. Lovely.
So it has its own little lid.
Ooh, copycat, but I'm cool with that.
Own little infuser.
Look at you, fancy.
I'm learning it from you.
I don't have a new mug, but I have a new mug for the stream because no one's seen it yet.
Go for it.
And it says witch.
Nice.
It's my Harry Potter.
I love sandwiches. I'm going to go ahead and start my water going.
Oh, yeah. What do we have to do this? This is another 200/93 degrees Celsius for 3 to 5 minutes.
Yep. And again, my apologies for the weeks in which I was wrong. 0.1 ounces, not 1 ounces.
All right. Wow, my hands are not working. Here we go. I'm going to be reusing this. Listen, I thought about it, and I was like, wow, that is loud today. I thought about it, and I was like, ooh, what I really want to do is, you know how, like, with clothes, you don't want to wear the same thing twice, you know? Like, I don't want to wear the same outfit twice. I was like, what if I got, like, enough mugs so I never have to use the same mug twice? My partner was not thrilled with that, considering we live in an apartment and we have a very limited amount of space.
I mean, I have some mugs that you haven't seen yet, but eventually I will run out and start repeating.
Yeah, bound to happen. My water is so loud.
Is that my water or yours?
Mine. Mine's being so rowdy.
Oh yeah, mine's super loud too, and I'm hoping that doesn't come through on the microphone.
Oh, it does. You haven't watched the episodes yet, but you can definitely hear it a little bit. It's okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna give you a hard time about it every week forever.
I hope so. But hey, we have a person who's like waiting out in the ether. Do we want to bring him on?
I think so. Give me 1 second to hit all the right buttons, and then we'll.
Everybody at home, put your hands together, clap, because we can hear you for Devon Chulick. Devon, keep doing that until Rosie says you're on screen.
Yeah. All right.
He's getting tired.
Yep, you got it. And we can even hear you now if you want to talk.
All right. What is up? Oh my, it's grimdark. That tea. I love that tea has cloves in it because I feel anything named grimdark has to have the clove flavor.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm excited about it. I love a strong aroma in my tea, you know?
Oh yeah.
But Devon, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. This is exciting.
So tell us. Let's start with what's important. Tell us what you're drinking.
Coffee.
Sean, did you not tell your guest what the show was about?
First of all, our guest.
Well, I know, but you invited this particular one.
I thought I did, but that's fine.
It's all right.
Listen, what's the difference between coffee and tea? They're both, suspensions and liquid of plant matter, right?
I think the difference is that I don't have a tea maker. I have a coffee maker.
fair.
Mind you, it seems it's like a lot easier to make tea, but I can't just like have tea made like automatically, like wake up because I like did it the night before. Maybe you can. Maybe maybe it's just I'm too lazy to do the research into how that works. I envy tea people though. I envy people that are good with tea. They know their tea and they enjoy and drink tea often because I feel like a plebe being a coffee person. I definitely feel like the underdressed person of as a guest on the show being a coffee person.
Speaking of underdressed, what the heck?
What? I like to look good for our guests. I was like, Devon Chulick's coming on board. I better put on a watch for some reason.
Are you implying I don't look good for our guests?
I think you look great, Rosie.
I thought you were cozy last week, so I thought we were doing cozy this week, and now you're dressed up.
I thought we were doing fancy, you know.
Whatever.
I was told we were supposed to wear a hat.
Were you?
Yeah.
Are you sure you didn't make that up?
I know, because I specifically sought out my hat just for today's thing. Okay, well, there's some miscoms going on here.
We're gonna blame that on Steve the intern. We'll be docking his non-pay.
Wait, we have an intern? I could be having help? I guess not anymore.
Yeah, no.
My water's ready and I already poured it.
Okay, well, my water is also ready. It's actually a little too hot. I'm gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit. But is it a specific type of coffee, Devon, or is it good?
I actually do. It's my partner puts our coffee grounds in these glass jars, so I have no idea where it comes from. I think I think it's just like Dunkin'.
Okay.
My partner, she's from the Midwest, and she loves Dunkin's coffee, and so anytime she finds it at the supermarket, she gets it. And I've like. Being a West Coaster, I've never been to a Dunkin'. I think I've seen one in my whole I'd never been until I went to the Midwest with her, and we had Dunkin' iced coffees like every chance we got.
When a Dunkin' Donuts opened out here in Colorado, my whole life changed, and I had to refrain. I had to start. I would drive. So my drive to where I teach could pass a Dunkin'. It doesn't actually, but like it could if you went another way. So it was weird, but like I would get in the car and I'd be like, I'm a little tired. I could use some coffee, and then I would turn off the other way.
I grew up in Florida and we had Dunkin', but it wasn't until I moved to New Jersey that like I understood the whole America runs on Dunkin' thing.
Yeah. Yes, it's the Jersey.
I hate Dunkin' Donuts coffee. And I don't understand how they survive in New Jersey now that Wawa exists. And has for
better than
you know what is a Wawa?
This is a tea show. This is a tea show.
Wawa is the premier gas station. It is amazing.
Oh. You know, honestly, I would love to see a coffee book that just talks about these the minutia of these small grocery store chains that exist like in 3 states, but like everyone there knows them, or because like there's so much that like living in California, it's so big, so you travel so much and you only see the same things, and you always kind of forget like. You know, Colorado or Jersey, they all have a very unique brand of these very common things.
Let's do it. Let's write it. Who better than the 3 of us?
I have a tea show and like a mod. I'm supposed to be doing an adventure, and I teach kids 65 nights a week. I don't know.
We can do this. We'll just hire someone on Fiverr to do the bulk of the work. We'll get your intern. We'll say we won't dock your non-pay if you help with our coffee table book.
Do a bunch of regional.
A coffee table book about gas station coffee.
Yep. Hey, you know what I forgot to do, Rosie? I forgot to start my timer. How long have we been doing this?
9 minutes and 34 seconds.
I'll just
total.
Mentally add 10 minutes to whatever I see there.
Great.
But yeah, Devon. Speaking of coffee and the things that fuel us, and using Fiverr to get things done, tell us about startplaying.games. Tell us about what else you got going on.
Yeah. Okay. So startplaying.games is like the premier place to find a dungeon master for hire in professional game masters. We do also offer free games, but many of our dungeon masters are so talented. I mean, we also have some really big names that are just like in the community that, you know, people that are familiar with Adventures League will recognize these GMs' names. A lot thanks to, you know, Sean introducing me to them. But
Right.
yeah, right. But I wanted, like, I for so long was really, really successful as a professional game master. And someone had asked me, a client who every time they came to California, they would hire me for a game for them and their family. And they're like, well, do you know any GMs in Chicago? And at the time I was like, I don't know any professional GMs in Chicago, but I should. And that's the problem. And so I was thinking about how to do this. And then as years went on, I was building some communities just to like connect people and try to find a good solution for this. My co-founder, Nate Tucker, he called me randomly one day and was like, hey, you're a professional dungeon master. Can I ask you some questions? And he started asking these questions that are product manager questions. So I was like, what are you building as a product manager myself? And he told me, I was like, oh, I've been trying to build the same thing. He wanted to build a site for professional game masters for people to find them. And I was like, and that was in March. We launched September, and now we've had over 20,000 people book seats in games. We have game masters that have quit their full-time jobs or that have been furloughed from their jobs because of the pandemic that are now making the same amount that they did before the pandemic. I've seen people playing games for the first time, people that just didn't feel welcomed at their local game stores, or people that just felt it was too much of a burden to learn the game themselves. Now, like, building these micro communities with other people and playing online, and it just brings me so much joy. So that's what I've been working on lately. Besides that, working on trying to do 4 pull-ups. I'm at 1.
That is
Hey, you're
definitely more.
a quarter of the way there.
Yeah, exactly. I feel that it's progress.
That's huge progress. That website sounds amazing. It sounds perfect for people who are trying to get into something that they have not yet been able to find a doorway into.
Right?
Awesome.
And games that like you've always wanted to play, but you're like, I don't know anyone who even runs this. Like, I have so many books here of like games I want to play, but I don't have the time to read and learn the rules. But if someone ran the game for me, I'd be like, oh, I get it. Like,
That's
oh,
me with Vampire the Masquerade right now. I have the book. It's over there. I just don't have the time for that book.
Ooh, we have 10 games this weekend of people running Vampire the Masquerade. Sorry. But exactly, I've been hiring people. Oh, but I've been hiring people just to learn how to play Blades in the Dark, so I can now write it for my group.
Very cool. Full disclosure, you can find me on startplaying.games if you would like all of this to come DM for you.
You cannot find me on there because I already do that a lot.
That's fair.
But I love that you can find people there because that is awesome.
Yeah. And the fact that people, the review system allows people to like show like, the social proof of like, yes, like you're going to have a great time. I'm going to respect your boundaries, or I am an actual inclusive GM. And it's really powerful to see GMs finally get like this kind of recognition that's kind of hard to show when they're just by themselves and they get to join this community. I don't know. I could talk about it forever. Sorry, I'm getting off track.
You're not getting off track. That's literally what we're here for.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that Nate Tucker reached out to you because he knew you were a professional GM, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping that segues well into a little while ago, you were in a Bloomberg article. Right?
I was. It was wild. When you see an email from hey, I'm a writer with Bloomberg, Mary Pilon, who amazing journalist. She also wrote a book on Monopoly. I don't know if you know about the scandalous history of Monopoly, but it is varied. Yeah, she hit me up and she's like, hey, I'm doing a story about professional dungeon masters. I'd like to interview you for it. And I thought to myself, oh, maybe it'll be like a couple questions, but they like brought in a photographer and like I was the feature of the piece, and it just blew my mind as like that this happened.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a very dear friend of mine. So I have a master's degree in leadership development, and I have a friend who has a PhD in a similar thing from the same school. And he is now running programs in Maine. I forget what college he's working at, but where they teach, it's all how to use games like D&D to help process emotions, to help with, to help businesses go through trainings and things like that. He's literally proposing classes. We've, exchanged information about it, but proposing classes where like, that's what you do. Kids, students sign up to learn how to use games to help with processing, to use them in businesses and things like that. And he actually sent me, I believe he sent me your article way back when.
I love that. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because when you say that, it's funny because we do maybe 5 to 10 corporate games a month. Yeah. Where corporations are hitting us up and like we have 40 people and like, okay, we'll run a game and it'll all be connected in some way. So everyone could talk about it afterwards. And they love it because it is one of the few things you can do with a remote team that you leave with fun memories and excitement, and you want to talk about it with your other coworkers.
And that's so true. Yeah.
You're saying that Zoom happy hours aren't the best possible use of our corporate time? I don't understand. What else could they?
I'm trying to think of the last Zoom happy hour I went to, and I honestly think it was like early pandemic, early panty. Not like second wave here, like not act 2 of the panty. I don't think that slang is going to catch on.
No, I hope not, actually. But I don't.
I'm just going to ignore it because you're a guest, but it was rough. It was real bad. You should feel bad about it.
Yeah. I'm very red right now.
I got furloughed back in August, and I think the thing that I missed the least is the Zoom happy hours.
Yeah.
I was just like, listen, I'll run D&D for you guys, and people were like, oh, really? Like back in the 80s? And I was like, yeah, like that. But more Satan, more satanic panic.
Right.
So my tea has finished steeping, I believe.
I am not loving this one, Sean.
Oh no! All right, I'm pulling out the infuser for the first time. It's very hot. I don't know if I'm in love with this cup.
It smells good. It smells good, and I actually like cloves.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
assuming cloves were a big part of your high school smoking time.
I didn't smoke in high school or now. Well,
just a joke about people who smoke cloves, like me.
I don't know, this Duncan is hitting the
spot. I see the aroma in that. How's the nose?
I'm not. You're not going to like it, I don't think, personally.
Okay. Bold, calling it out. I like the aroma.
I do like the aroma. I'm giving it a chance to cool. It might be different in a little bit, but right now I'm not.
I'm going to give that a chance to cool and hopefully get better.
I think that's the hardest thing for tea for me is it's too hot and then I let it sit for too long and then it's cold.
That's why we keep these at about an hour, because if we have to at least have it before it gets too cold.
A buddy of mine was like, oh, I was expecting like 15-minute episodes. And I was like, how? There's not enough time for it to cool. You don't get the flavor profiles. Like tea exists in a time, like in a spectrum of time. Not just
right,
like,
and we barely have time to introduce ourselves and our guests before we would be like, all right, well, it's good hanging out with you, Devon. See, like, we're already at 18 minutes.
So let's move away from start playing games for a moment, Devon.
Yeah.
Let's get a little bit more serious.
All right, let's get sit up.
Total Party Chill.
Yeah.
Tell us about Total Party Chill. Tell us where can we find Total Party Chill? What do you do over there?
It's funny because I feel like a lot of people immediately get the D&D joke, and some people that don't know about D&D have no idea it's a reference to Total Party Kill, and they just think it's kind of broy when they hear it. And they're like, "Is that like what is that?" Is like sounds kind of broy. It's like far from it, friend. Total Party Chill is about 2 years ago. A friend of mine who worked at Twitch came and played in my home game with me and my 7 best friends, and afterwards like, oh, you should stream these. This is fun. This is better than some of the stuff I see on Twitch. And I was like, oh, and I looked and was like, oh, this is cool. And then I was like, do you guys want to do this? And like, yeah. And it's like this way, then like I have to like rope you in that you have to play with me forever, because if it becomes popular, now we're just stuck playing with each other. It's kind of like me being a Leslie Note, being like, please sign this friend contract. And so we started building it up, and it kind of just took off. It's been massively successful for all of us, and it's this really for us, it's really important because it's another reason why we get together every week and play games. But then this community, I know nothing about Discord before going into this. And then, I think maybe like episode 8, someone's like, why do you guys have a Discord? I was like, what's a Discord? and then we made it. And then now, I think about our community, and it is just so impactful. I can't even imagine having to build a community like this, that I would ever had. And so it brings me a lot of joy knowing that. I mean, I actually just looked at our fundraising that we've done with our community in the last year, just on our own channel. And it's something like $10,000 for, just so many wonderful charities. And I was like, this is just the power of this community. This is incredible.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. And you're all voice actors, is that right?
No. Yeah.
Wrong show.
Well, you're all related. You're like brothers, and your dad plays. Is that what it was?
No. It's so funny because I feel like it's very common that you hear the same thing. Well, we're all friends. We play D&D. I'd say we're all friends, and this is their D&D experience mostly started with me in the entire crew, and I think that's it's also we hang out a lot outside of the D&D, so you can see how familiar we are with each other when playing. We're quick to rag on each other, but we're also in each other's lives in so many different ways. And that, I think that's one of the things that people in our community like our show and like us, is just because outside of show, inside of show, everything, we're all just each other's best friends.
That's awesome. I like.
We all live in the same place too. So we all live in the same apartment. Here's the thing, that's not entirely untrue. There was a time where almost half of the cast lived together.
Oh,
nice.
In the same apartment where the studio is. So it was fun times. But yeah, so I mean, we all live here in San Francisco. 2 of our folks have moved, one to Arizona and one to San Diego. And as we've grown and some of our other core folk have started other games. Everyone was originally here in San Francisco, has kind of moved different places, but it's still fun because a lot of us still see each other socially distanced in the city.
That's awesome. Yay. That sounds like fun. I love I have a homebrew game that we play with my friends, and it's just so fun to just be friends with the people that you're playing D&D with, and it just brings a whole nother level of joy to that space.
Right. And I also feel because we stream it, I can really go out there with things I create for our games, because it does have this kind of level of there is an audience, there is this kind of performance side, there is this kind of business side that in 2020 I made a goal, and I wanted to create an in-game card game, like Gwent and Final Fantasy. They had these card games so in my D&D game I have officially printed and created our own card game that existed. And I'm I don't know if this would happen unless we had this community that was big enough that could support us doing these cool projects.
That's awesome. Can the public buy those?
Not yet. We're still doing some more playthrough, but we're going to try to get a free online version through a fun app that people can just access for free and play anywhere. And then sell them. But oh gosh, this is so fun. I'm just the fact that it happened.
That's amazing.
That's do stuff like that.
I think the D&D community, you get the right community, can bring to life so many amazing things, like a card game or other things that have been brought. But it's just so fun that there's a community of people who are yes, we want to see this. This is amazing.
Right.
Bring us creativity.
One's oh, I love your homebrew world. Can we get something of it? It's all right. So we're going to try to publish it in a book format, and just self-publish to give to anyone that wants to buy. I'm not thinking like, I want to do Kickstarter level stuff unless like it gets so much attention. But I know that there's like at least like 300-400 people that would maybe want to just like buy the, a fun zine or a perfect bound magazine of it or a card game.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's really cool. I love
I
it.
can't wait for all of our shippers to be all about buying our merch, which we don't have and doesn't exist.
Oh, custom tea? You gonna make tea?
No.
Oh,
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking like mugs or something.
Yeah, I was thinking mugs and tie clips because obviously.
I mean, my dad is in the shirt printing business, so I could get us some shirts printed if we had like a logo or something. But
My dad's a metallurgical engineer, so I could get us, I don't know, like an element named after us.
do they have to discover an element in order for that to happen? Okay, so
what about like commemorative teaspoons?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think like you have like a design on the part you hold. I know commemorative spoons are a big business. I don't know if you know about Big Spoon, the industry, but it is cutthroat.
I've heard whispers.
Yeah, they've completely absorbed Little Spoon.
thanks for joining us today, where the comedy is top-notch, high level.
This is like pre-show. We were like going through the run of show and everything, and I was trying to express to Devon our brand of this is perfect. You're perfect. You're doing exactly what
I told you we had a list, but it wasn't going to matter.
Nope.
I feel like Devon would be a good person to ask a question to.
Yeah, I think so. All right, so Devon, we have this little game we like to play. This is Chuck Klosterman's.
Oh.
He says, even though we have never played it live before.
Oh yeah, that's true. We only played this.
We only did that in episode 0. Anyways, go ahead.
I love this. I'm gonna buy this after this. After.
Are you familiar with?
I am. I have several of his books.
Yeah. So in one of his books, I have none of his books. I should read one of them. In one of his books, he lists like 21 questions I ask people to know if I can love them, something along those lines. And people loved that. So he put out this like card game, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one of these at random. Okay. And I will read out this question to us, and then we will answer it.
Okay.
And really,
I should preface that I just bought this.
I
just bought it. I just bought it. Yeah.
In between. Okay. Cool.
In between. Yeah. I'm that excited for this.
Hey Chuck, you're welcome. I bought this twice actually. I bought it and then somebody loved it so much I gave it to him and bought another one. But yes, so today's question is mystical clay.
Ooh.
All right, and it's a rather long one, so stick with me, folks.
Okay. I have to get my attention span.
Everybody take your Adderall. Let's go. This takes place in California. A major earthquake occurs in California. After the damage is assessed, workers discover a strange type of clay that was exposed by the fault line. Immediately, certain workers report a bizarre sensation. Merely touching the clay gives them a euphoric, almost sexual sense of well-being. They only need to touch it once to feel great forever. Soon, thousands of people begin flocking to the clay to experience it. But 1 in 4 people feel the euphoric effect, regardless of gender, age, or nationality. The rest of the populace feels nothing at all. Scientists who study the atomic structure of the clay realize the substance could also serve as the cleanest, most completely efficient fuel ever discovered. 1 pound of clay could power all of Los Angeles for 10 years. However, those who have been personally and spiritually affected by the clay implore the government not to pursue this avenue. They insist that using the clay as energy will destroy mankind's ability to feel joy. They cannot explain what this means, but they overwhelmingly and specifically suggest that this is literally what will happen. In fact, many of them claim that they will attempt to overthrow the U.S. government if the clay is misused in any way whatsoever. That's our prompt. Here's our question. You are in the second term of your tenure as the President of the United States.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, not worried about re-election. Great, love
Yeah.
it.
The clay has no effect on you whatsoever.
Aw.
Would you support an initiative that allows 5% of the clay to be mined?
Oh, dude, hands down, not even a question. Like the the fact that this is the cleanest burning energy, and one of the biggest problems facing us is our actual environment. Yeah, listen. They want to attempt the overthrow. We've seen how that goes. Not great. Also, if you're this euphoric, I don't expect you to be super hostile. No, hands down, even 5% of this clay that yes, I would have an ecological assessment made of using this clay and the impact it would have, and if actually mining it to that degree would have some impacts. But without a doubt, even if I hadn't tested it, I would actually probably avoid it, because the idea that this could provide me something that I should be experiencing from the human experience in this synthetic ability, I would not trust that. And I even want to know if I was yes or no, because I wouldn't want my mind to be changed in the fact that I'm now perceiving euphoric just by existing, when I should be getting that from the connections I have with people.
Okay. Wow, that was thorough.
Did I win?
You win. 4 points. Good work.
But
Rosie.
what about both of you?
No, we're gonna go.
Okay.
Sean, you get to go next because you always make me go next when you read something. So you're up.
I just feel like I've been talking for a long time. All right. I think I'm not as clear cut as Devon on the yes there, but I think I am a yes. I think mining 5% of it and using it to have the super clean energy would be excellent. I think that the people who are worried that mankind's ability to feel joy would be destroyed, that's certainly a valid concern. But I would say that with a resource such as this, we could probably fix a lot of the Earth's issues. And even if mankind can no longer feel joy, they can still feel happiness, contentment, many other positive feelings. And also, if we fix the energy problems that we have worldwide, they don't have to feel starvation or hunger or a lot of other resource issues. So I think I would go with the greater good and destroy mankind's joy. And also, I also live with clinical depression, so I don't get to feel joy regardless. So screw the rest of you.
All right.
I would be cognizant of the fact that like this is going to change things, but I think overall it'll change things for the better.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having trouble sitting on the other side of this as well. I'm like thinking, could I play devil's advocate here and be like, no? But our Earth is crumbling because we are misusing it and burning energy that we don't have, and cooking ourselves. So why not get clean energy out of it? That doesn't. I mean, again, I agree with Devon. I think you have to do some studies or whatever. But assuming all of that has been taken care of before they wrote this prompt for us, then yeah. The whole sitting on like the whole joy thing. I don't have clinical depression, but I have other fun diagnoses like PTSD and stuff. I still find myself feeling joy in life, and there are other ways to. I mean, there are ways to get it besides touching clay. So, so we just have to work on that, right? Helping people find joy in other ways, which kind of doesn't sound terrible.
Yeah, I gotta also believe that I'll lock down the clay substance so that more people can't touch it and join the joyful mob of insurrectionists, I guess. Only 25% of the world's population gets the mind alteration anyway.
My question is, when was this written? This
When
question. Yeah, because I feel like it closes a lot of like, well, what ifs when you're asked a question like, well, am I being reelected? You know, it like specifically says like you don't have to worry about reelection. You know, you're not affected. They close a lot of like things that might change how you'd answer. But even if like it was my first term, first year, yeah, dude, be the first year president is like, yeah, we solved energy.
Right. Okay, can you remind me if my brain has just made stuff up due to earlier conversations? But did you mention something about like euphoria in like sexual terms as well? Or did my mind
it's like
make
almost
that up?
sexual.
Merely touching the clay gives them a euphoric, almost sexual sense of well-being.
Yeah, have more sex. That's going to be my answer. Like if that's a thing you need, if that's the thing you need in your life, I know people who don't need it. But like if that's a thing you need in your life, just maybe go explore that avenue safely and with consent.
Yep.
Agreed.
This was the copyright on this box is 2010. So these questions are somewhere around 11 years old.
Yeah. So they were expecting, I love how it happened in California. Me living here, like it was a very immersive question for me.
Well, and I think in the last decade, California's energy issues have only gotten more severe.
Right, like Colorado and California were on fire forever.
Constantly. What? Yeah. There's like, I mean, it's just like we're between fires.
Right.
Yeah.
We know there's another one coming. Just relax.
Yeah. People are always like, why do you live in California with all these fires? Like, well, have you seen California? It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
When it's not on fire, it's gorgeous. Same with Colorado.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting. We went camping over towards the end of the summer when some of the worst fires were happening. And, now, granted, of course, a lot of land was lost, but I think that some people don't understand how big Colorado is. Yeah. And people are like, I can't believe you're going into the mountains and going camping. Are you going to like worried about the fires? I'm like, I'm worried like in a grand sense about the fires, but I'm not going camping near them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I definitely, I had to avoid fires.
I love fire camping. You guys are nuts. Yeah. Come on. Camping in the middle of a wildfire, do not do that.
No, don't. We don't recommend.
Do not recommend. Not sponsored by wildfires.
Sean, this Rosie, isn't getting better.
I was literally about to check back in.
Okay, well, you let me know.
Well, first of all, my first cup of tea out of this cup. I am loving this like angled handle. This is an amazingly great cup, and then like it's so warm, but it's not losing its heat.
The both of you were talking about just an overwhelming amount of mugs.
Yeah, it's a tea review show.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, what I'm saying, Rose, you were saying that your partner doesn't want you to get more mugs because you have so many. I also have that feeling in our house because we have so many. And now my partner has started up ceramics and she's making mugs. Ooh. And she's like, "Oh, look at this mug." We were somewhere like, "We don't. You can make this. We don't need these other people's mugs anymore. We are mug sufficient." If
that's
we
how
need
my
it,
partner
we can make it.
Quesadillas.
Wait, quesadillas?
Yeah. Like every time I'm like, "Oh,
I thought that was wrong. You said quesadillas.
Yeah, I said quesadillas.
Okay.
Like every time back in the before times when we could go places, every time I'm out and I'm like, "Oh, I might get a quesadilla." She's like, "Why? We can just make that at home." And I'm like, "Technically, we can make any of this at home."
Yeah, that's some major we have food at home vibes.
Yeah, but also like ceramics versus case. Okay, I'm gonna let this go. But sure.
It's not even like we have food at home. It's we can make quesadillas are stupid easy to make.
Yeah.
That's her argument. Yeah. I am liking this in that I like hot clove water. It is numbing. Like clove has that numbing sense to it. I'm not getting a whole lot of anything else out of it, and I feel like I'm so sorry, Dryad. We love you. You're lovely people, but this is the same copy of like 3 other hot clove water teas I've had from you.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it tastes warm, like actually the temperature, but also like the flavoring is like a warm flavor. Yeah. But
Okay, if it was a TV or a movie, what would this tea be?
Oh,
Wow.
I know. That's my favorite question to ask
Hard-hitting
people when they taste
questions.
things. Like, or like, like, oh, this wine. What movie or TV show would this wine be? Be like, oh, this is get some
I think
interesting.
this could be. Ooh, I thought of a movie that it could be. This is Aquaman. When compared with others from the same place, it is certainly in the top range of what they've given us so far.
So it like looks beautiful, like the packaging's great. It's part of a good line.
Yeah, like it's perfectly acceptable. It is inoffensive to me. I don't know that I'll ever go back and watch it again.
All right, so my partner and I just finished watching Disenchantment
Okay.
on Netflix, and I feel the same way. Disenchantment comes after like BoJack Horseman and then Big Mouth, and like of like the like adult cartoon-esque type of things that are out now. I'm not talking about going back to like, um,
Just topical. Yeah.
yeah, it just like it was good. I watched it. There were some lines in Disenchantment that definitely made me laugh, but I will go back and rewatch BoJack. I will go back and rewatch Big Mouth. I have no desire to put Disenchantment on again.
Yeah. Rip. I love it.
If somebody else was like, "Oh man, I really want to watch Aquaman," I'd be like, "Yeah, all right, fine, let's do it."
Yeah.
That's
And like
exactly.
you should do it, but like
Have
you're
we
not
explained have we explained our rating system to Devon?
we haven't explained our rating system to Devon. Devon, listen to Sean tell you our rating system. You have it pulled up on the tech person.
Fine. All right, so we have 0 to 5 stars. Right?
0 being the most.
Yeah, 0 being
The most
so
stars.
0 stars. Bad. Would not recommend.
Okay. All right.
I would recommend against is what I've written here. 1 star. Fine. Would not order. Would drink to be polite. 2, below average. Would drink. Wouldn't buy. 3, good. Would buy. Not preferred. 4, great. Will order again. And 5, I'm not going to yell this time. Awesome. Must keep on hand. Right? Like, that was me quiet.
I like your rating system. I like that one is like, I'll have it to be. I like that one isn't like takes it, throws it out window.
No, that's
like
0.
I like that. Oh yeah, that's the okay.
Yeah.
Like 0 is like, oh, this is I'm gonna just put that right. I'm just so full right now.
I can't drink hot water
right now.
Or like, I just can't have caffeine. I forgot before when you offered this to me. There's no caffeine in it. Oh, yeah, but hot water keeps me awake. I have a mild and unimportant allergy to clothes.
If I have hot water after 2, I'll never be able to go to bed.
I gotta pee all night and then I don't get a good night's sleep. So I just try to avoid it after 2. I'm giving this a 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm between a 1 and a 2. I think that I'm gonna round down to a 1 as well.
Yeah.
Which is rough. I want to like things, but
I think the first 3 Dryad teas we've had though, we've rated 3 or better.
Yeah.
So
this is the first. This is the first time you've kind of had something not meet the benchmark
on screen.
Okay.
On screen.
But yes.
Yeah, Dryad has so many teas, and here's the thing: if someone else out there told me that this was their favorite tea, I'd be like, yeah, all right, great, good for you. I'm never going to yuck on someone else's yum.
Yeah.
These ratings are purely subjective to me and what I'm looking for in tea.
Right.
Like Almond Twilight and how it's
it's okay that you don't like it. It's fine. I like it. We can be different.
It's a 5 for you, right? Almond Twilight?
It is. I have 2 samples of it and I will order more.
Fair enough. It was like a 1 or a 2, but I rounded it up for 2 to be nice to Rosie.
Can I get like there's a place I can go to see like your list of teas that you prefer.
There will be by the time this
Yep.
airs.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Listen. I, like I'm gonna try tea. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm gonna get rid of my plebeian water, my Dunkin' Donuts, and hearing how you speak about tea, I feel like I have to have some hot water.
I'm so tempted to send you better coffee. That's really like I gotta.
There's a Trader Joe's coffee. It's an Ethiopian mix, and it's why can't espresso and coffee like all together?
Oh.
It is.
I used to be a big coffee snob when I first moved to San Francisco, like in 2008. And that's like right when third wave coffee was happening. That's like when, the single pour drip, it was really taking over. And I was like, oh, you got to have this. And it has to be like this type of coffee and like single origin only. And then like, as I got, I was like, just give me the coffee. I don't care.
Give me caffeine.
Yeah. Coffee and pizza are very similar to me. Like I love a good pizza. But I'll eat pizza. I'll eat almost any pizza.
100%.
Like if it's DiGiorno's, cool. I'm not gonna knock it. But
coffee and pizza are similar to me as well. But like I do acknowledge that like this is Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Right. This is Starbucks, and then there's like this is good pizza. Like this is like from Chicago or
New Jersey, New York.
Yeah.
What?
New Jersey or New York.
Yeah,
the best
pizza. Tavern style Chicago is I think is maybe the best pizza I've ever had. Not that deep dish stuff, but that tavern style. Whew.
I am married to a woman from Wisconsin. I love deep dish pizza.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I did live in New Jersey for 10 years, and I love a New York style as well. But you know what my latest obsession's been? Detroit style pizza.
Oh yeah, okay. You want that grinders style.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a weird middle ground between deep dish and not like thin crust.
Pan crust.
Pan crust, yeah.
So the logo for Total Party Chill is a pizza because we are big pizza people. And so now we are getting to the part of like I could talk about pizza for hours. Connecticut style, New York. We're talking the Brooklyn slice. The difference between the two. There's just so many types of pizza.
I'm so hungry.
I know. I haven't had lunch yet either. I think I'm actually going to get pizza after this now.
Devon, we're going to have you back for Sip Happens, a special broadcast. Pizza.
Pizza and coffee, right? Isn't that what we're doing? Pizza
and
we're
doing coffee with Ben Heisler. We're going to do pizza. Right. Yeah. These will be the specials.
Yeah.
They'll be 4-hour specials. We'll record them live together in front of a studio audience.
Was it
we'll find some that'll let us do this stupid.
What do you call it when you just live stream eating? What is that called? Mukbang. It's called mukbang.
Yeah, the Korean. Yeah.
And that's like the viral trend of like, this is what we're eating today, and you just eat, and it's not sexualized at all. It is literally just like, this is so good. This is what this tastes like. It's just people eating, which is like so funny that became a thing as well to me. That always takes me by surprise when I remember that mukbang's a thing.
I would love to be on a mukbang show sometime.
Right? Like we have ASMR.
On Sundays, every other Sunday. That's about as far as I
go. So we've reviewed our tea.
We did.
We've interviewed Devon. We now know everything about him. Every single thing. We know him better than his parents, than his partner, than his
D&D group.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. D&D group.
Devon, where can we find you if we want to go on the interwebs? I'm gonna have all of information pop up, but I want to hear you say it also.
Yeah, you can find anything about Start Playing, which I'm heavily connected to, of course. Our social handles across the web are DMs and games. And then if you want to find anything about me in Total Party Chill, again, it's all across the interwebs as just Total Party Chill, except for Twitter because it's too long for a Twitter handle. So Total Party Chill without the vowels is where you find it. And it's Total Party Chill is how you pronounce that.
check the chat. That we'll have some information up on chat, so you can click on those links and follow Devon and all of the things he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Sean Banerjee. It'll just be pictures of dice.
And information about this show, I hope.
Yep.
Cool. You can find me, Rosie_games on Twitter. Use that and that only. I hate all the other social media platforms. And you'll find all kinds of shit on there. So you're welcome. What? Don't laugh. I don't like them. You said you followed me on Instagram. When was the last time I posted on Instagram?
What about TikTok?
What about it, Devon? What about it?
It is. I just wondered. I wonder if that was too new that you just never used it, so that it didn't make the trash line yet.
Yeah, no, I'm old.
I've only watched TikToks. Like people will send them to me, and I watch them. I don't have an account.
They're so enjoyable.
Do you think that we should sip happens?
Yeah, you should. Here's what's crazy about TikTok. I feel like everyone goes viral at least once. Like
it's minute-long videos, right?
They're not even a minute. They're like 15 to 30 seconds. I made like a 15-second video for Start Playing That Games. It had like over 100 or 300,000 views. It's insane.
Let's just take all of our episodes, Rosie, and chop it up into 30-second bites, and then just all of them.
Steve, we'll pay you.
Steve the intern? We have a
Steve the intern, please come back.
If any of our lovely audience wants to take our
sticking around.
Devon, I hope you've enjoyed yourself.
I have. This has been a pleasure. Sean, as always. Rosie, a pleasure meeting you.
You as well.
I'm excited for us to cross paths in this industry again. And thank you so much to both of you for having me here.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you to those of you at home for joining us. And as we like to say, sip happens.
Sip happens.